All right. And we are here, everybody. Yes. Hey guys, what's going on? Memes here, and I'm joined today by the one, the only, the angriest of the Fromun crew, Angry-Fromun. Say hi to everybody, Fromun.
Yo, yo, what up, my home dogs?
All right, and if you actually dare to click on the stream, yes, we are going to be discussing the physics of one Sonic the Hedgehog. So, because it's one of those things where, I mean, a lot of us is what, yes, and I am also blinking in and out of existence because Froman he's creeping over my shoulder. It's very meta. Hello, Mr. Jensen Quinn. How are we doing? But no, I went to watch the movie. Had you seen the movie yet, Froman?
I have not, although I have played many of the games.
Myself as well. I haven't really played much since Sonic Spinball and Sonic and Knuckles. I personally think Sonic and Knuckles was one of the high points. Then again, I also haven't played anything past it, really. I've watched
Yeah.
cutscenes and stuff, but I do love the games. But one of the things that Jim Carrey, as Dr. Ivor Robotnik, said is once he has one of Sonic's quills, he's kind of measuring the power and stuff. You may have seen the trailer where he kind of touches it to his tongue like a 9-volt battery. He's like, ah!
Yeah.
But he does that. But essentially, and again, there's going to be a few spoilers here. My apologies, more light spoilers. But when he's measuring the power of Sonic's quill, he's oh my god, I'm like blending into the dimensions. I love it. But he's measuring the power of the quill, and it's like he comes back with unlimited after he runs his test. It's like, oh, well, this is interesting. And that's how in the trailer, how he's actually able to kind of keep up with Sonic in some of those scenes there because he's using it as a power. So that was a single quill. His readings were unlimited. So now I'm trying to think, what would the entire hedgehog be? So let's go from and let's how would we figure this out?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to kind of factor, and I spurred to you when you offered the thing. Let me kind of look it up again because
Yeah.
I'm horribly forgetful. But it was about the specific G forces that Sonic uh, goes behind, like because like there's different measurements for Sonic speed. Some of them are bullet speed. Some of them are like the light dash is light speed. You have stuff like that, but like how Sonic moves is kind of a thing. So like a weird thing. He has various powers, of course, super speed. But in order to kind of keep that in check, you also have to have super durability. Um,
Right.
like put it this way, and I pointed it out. Like um, Sonic moves at, let's say, the conservative Sonic speed about 200 no about 750 meters per second, if I recall correctly. um, so at that speed, he's moving from 0 to that speed in say a second. That's a force of about 35 Gs. And to put that in perspective, people die at about 3 Gs.
Well, that's one of the things. A lot of either pilots, whether it's just standard aircraft, jet fighters, or even space travel, they put them through the simulator so your body could start to become accustomed to higher G levels.
Well, even at that point, it's like the most that they can experience is about 5 Gs.
People usually pass out, and there's very bad things that happen after that.
Yeah, yeah, for various reasons.
So with conservative estimates, what you're saying is okay. Sonic might be able to go wicked fast and everything, but as he increases that wicked fastness, at the same time he's increasing his durability.
Well, I mean, he's already that durable to begin with, and
Right.
you
Okay.
could argue that that's like built into the games with rings or whatever. I mean, it's not true in Sonic 06. Jesus Christ! If anyone knows what I'm talking about there, when essentially he has these segments where he will say, "Oh, I need to speed up," and it's actually like a really cool gameplay where he's running as fast as he can in the game, but at the same time, it doesn't work well for at least gameplay. It's one of the reasons that was considered the worst Sonic game.
I heard it
Because
was because of loading times.
loading times was another big one. It was literally like there's a section part way through it, and I'll get that in a second. But like, so with the running speed, it was you would run and you would trip on a rock
Yeah.
and you'd die.
Right. Now Mr. Quinn brings up an interesting point Does Sonic connect with the Speed Force?
Yes and no. I mean, different universes, but let's say they were the same.
Okay.
Um, in the case of Speed Force, like Flash, and I can't remember what the other character's name who uses, like, there's an anti-Flash character who
Right.
uses the
Yellow
Speed Force.
Flash or something.
Yeah, well, like Flash himself is basically a generator of the Speed Force, and
Hmm.
it's why he's slow to start off with. Like in the first Justice League and potentially the last, I'm not sure what they're doing there, but in
Yeah.
that Justice League, Superman was faster than the Flash.
Hmm.
But as he gets older, the Speed Force grows within him, and he gets faster. But Sonic doesn't necessarily have the Speed Force. He's just kind of
He's the fastest thing alive. Well, according to Sonic canon.
yeah. Then you also have things like well, he's not the fastest thing in Sonic canon, oddly enough. Like
I know. I'm just going based upon the marketing and the thing
yeah,
because all I know, I've seen other things. And I'm like, is this even true?
well, like Metal Sonic's faster, although Metal Sonic isn't alive.
Or is he?
I mean,
Can he
how
achieve home?
philosophical do you want to get?
Well, that's okay. I'm just going based off of standards. Like, all right, can he achieve homeostasis? Can he reproduce?
Reproduction hasn't been proven with Metal Sonic, although he can evolve.
He can absorb. Yes, I did watch that death battle between the doctors.
Yeah. That's from Sonic Hero, which is actually my favorite, although there is a lot wrong with Sonic Heroes.
There's a lot wrong with a lot of things now. But focusing on Sonic. So okay. So at Sonic himself, he's like 3.2 feet tall or something. I'll bring up the Sonic stats right now. How much energy would he need to generate to move his frame? I'll grab you the numbers.
Are you talking at Sonic speed?
Basically what you were just laying out. I think 750 feet per second, meters per second.
Yeah, let me bring that up. I have some fancy schmancy schematic equations. Um, so let's see. Velocity. Well, he makes that speed in basically a second, less than that, but let's keep it a second to keep
Okay.
our estimates conservative.
Right.
His acceleration is 0 to bullet speed, so 750 meters per second. His weight is, I have that somewhere, 35 kilograms. So force is mass times acceleration, which would just be 750 times 35. Not that difficult. We get 22 200 no herp to derp 26,250 newtons. I think I'm doing that right. But we want to get it to energy. How much energy is needed? So we
Okay.
would have to multiply that into joules, and joules is force times displacement. So basically, to get from A to B in that time, in that amount of energy, assuming no wind resistance or anything like that, perfect friction, stuff like that, times 750 again. I'll just do that. I think I'm doing that right. I could be horribly wrong. Let's see. I get a value of 19,867,687,500 joules, which, I mean, that's enough to power a house for like a year. I think I could be. Let me think about that for a second.
Hold on. You said the 226, 250 newtons, and then how many joules is that?
Just under 20 million.
Okay. So about 20 million joules. Okay. I'm just typing this in the chat to just gotta keep track.
So now to put that in, but this is per second. So work for wattage, like wattage to put into house, that's 20 million joules per second. So 20 million watts. So that's 20 gigawatts in a second. Well, gigawatt is a second, but
Wait, what?
Wait, no, megawatt. 20 megawatts. I'm mixing up my terms. Don't mind me.
No worries.
But yeah, 20 megawatts, which that's that's
That's
enough to power a city.
I remember I got a solar estimate once, and it's like, all right, it was like I think a 10 kilowatt system or something, and they're like, oh, because your house is facing perfectly here, we can maximize and guarantee like 97% of your total energy production with like the net meter and stuff like that, so it would net out. I remember them saying that, and I'm like, oh, 10 kilowatts is a lot. You said how many
20
megawatts?
well, yeah, 20 megawatts, so that would be 20,000 kilowatts.
Oh, well, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's enough to probably power an apartment, well, like my apartment complex at the very least. Like um most of our stuff like per second, that's enough to power my apartment complex for a few days because like our power generators, the biggest power generator is the one in China. It's a hydroelectric one, and it generates something around the lines of 20,000 gigawatts. So, about a million times this, which put that in perspective, it isn't a lot, but you also need to think this is Sonic's base form on a conservative estimate.
Right.
Sonic's supersonic form is a lot higher. Dark Spine Sonic, I can't remember if this is canon or not, but I heard that he could go the speed of light. And once you get up there, you start dealing with relativism.
Right, right. Okay, I'm trying to figure out this other thing that we could actually use as a factor because there's a scene, or well, we'll put it up here on the screen so we can share the old screen. Grab the little tab. There's a fish on my head. So basically, again, a quick spoiler over here is basically what happens is he's giving him directions to LA, and they're kind of on the highway. He's like, "You just go west," and he goes west, and then apparently he crashes in the Pacific Ocean, and then he's back within 5 seconds. I'm trying to calculate where on the road. See, look, he comes back.
As I clearly approached the cold, dark water of the Pacific, I realized a few things. A, I have no idea where I'm going. B, saltwater stinks. C, I shouldn't even be on this planet right now, but I am. Why? Because you shot me. I know. You shot me!
It's
I
beautiful.
love it. Wet,
I'm cold.
cold,
There's a
fish on my head.
clearly I'm not going to be able to do this on my own.
Okay, thank you, YouTube.
So, where did you say he was started in when that happened?
Hold on, I'm grabbing information from the wiki because they're leaving from the Pacific Northwest and they're heading to LA. So literally, in the course of about, from what I remember from that movie, he literally leaves about 3 seconds before the scene starts, where he runs back about a second and a half later. So it's about 5 seconds for him to literally go from where they are to the Pacific Ocean and back. So hold on, Sonic movie wiki. So they're at Green Hills, I believe. So where is he? I want to say so. They're somewhere west of LA.
That's in Tennessee. Well, there's a few different Green Hills from what I'm seeing. There's a Pennsylvania, Ohio, and a Tennessee.
Green Montana.
So they're in Montana and they're going to LA.
Alright,
So
so let's bring up a map. I'll get this for you. So Green Hills, Montana. They're already en route a bit. So let's grab a map. Somehow I think this
uh
might be a fictional town.
yeah, it looks like. But it's about a little over 1,000 miles. So let me throw that in.
All right, let me.
It's 1226.5 times
All right,
1.6 to change it to kilometers.
all right. So if they start off and they're in Wyoming, let's let's be generous. Let's say they actually made it to the corner of Nevada. So let me drop the little dude over there. So
I just plugged in if it's from Montana to LA.
this
Although
actually
that's,
looks like the road that they're on.
let me see.
So hold on, how do I go back? Let me go back to the map. All right, so where do I grab my little distance toolie? Or we can just do point, I think.
Well, I just did like a Montana. Is it like the corner of Wyoming that you're basing it on?
I'm literally just at the corner of Nevada. I'm being very generous here. Let's say they're literally at the northeast corner of Nevada, and he just goes directly west.
Okay.
All right, so I can. Where's the scale? I haven't used Google Maps in a while. Oh my God! Oh, it just made the Earth round. That's very interesting.
Well, we all know it's flat.
Well, mostly on maps and stuff. So
Globalists and all that.
Tim Pool has a globe. All right. So let me see. Blah 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 blah.
Let me see if I can.
Actually, no. We'll actually just plug in a place. How do we do this? Okay, we'll just type there. Oh, and then there. So there to there. Wait, why isn't it doing it? Elko County, Nevada. All right. And then we'll say, what's directly east there? What's that? Del Norte County. All right. To Del Norte. All right. Del Norte County, California. Actually, let's do to Green Hills. Directions. Green Hills, Montana. All right. Wait, no, that's Missouri. It's too far. Montana, there we go. All right. I was going to say it's not 2,000 miles. Green Hills Township, Montana.
It's about 700 miles by my estimate.
Okay, 700 miles in 5 seconds. That sounds about accurate.
So let me redo that.
Oh. Well, hey, welcome, Lieutenant Knives. Welcome, Lucy. It's good to see you about. Oh, am I finding your new stalker? Oh, my latest? Wait. Are you talking about somebody I may potentially victimize or somebody that may potentially victimize me? Because in the current meta, that could be going either way. That's all I'm saying. Hey, so what's going on, brother? But, actually, Excel, you're a math guy. If you're a math guy, would you care to talk some of the finer points of the physics of Sonic the Hedgehog? No pressure, man. We're doing some calculations. So we're estimating that if Sonic is going from Nevada, or the corner of Nevada, directly due west about 700 miles. From what I recall that scene in the movie, he does that scene in about 5 seconds, till the point where he leaves the car, goes west, and crashes into the ocean. At that point, actually it's there and back again. So is it 700 miles there and back, or is it okay.
Well, no, it's 700 miles there, 700 miles back. My bad.
Okay, so it's actually 1,400 miles in 5 seconds. Oh, this is going to be fun. No worries, brother. No, we're just having some fun nerding out. I talked with Fromun a little bit about this the other day, and he kind of got excited. So I'm like, oh, would you mind coming on and maybe talking a little bit about this, just to maybe grab a few live hours and maybe practice the old green screen and stuff? And he was very accommodating. All right, just walk us through this. I can actually bring up a calculator too.
I already got my calculations done. I'm just seeing which metrics it is, because it's 10 to the 15th power, which it's tetra and then peta, I think.
Oh, yes, it goes because it's terabyte, petabyte.
Yeah, so then we're dealing with 1.13 petawatts.
What? Froman, you're going to need to walk me through this. Because I realize you have an answer, but you're going to have to explain your work. Just start listing some numbers. I'll add them for the chat to keep track of.
Okay, so Sonic's mass is 35 kilograms.
Okay, so 35 kilogram headshot. Got it.
Okay, so we estimated it was 700 miles there and then 700 miles back. That's a total of 1,400 miles, which means that he traveled that times 1.6 kilometers. So let me. Where did I
Time
put that?
travel, 5 seconds. Okay.
Times 1.6 kilometers, and that gives me 2240. And I might have forgotten to divide by 5.
Wait.
I might have.
Wait a second, Lucy. We need to be very specific about this. Number one, Sonic probably is responsible for a lot of the greater Ferdum as it exists now. I have to admit that growing up and watching Sonic and Princess Sally interact, I don't know. Maybe this is why I got fuzzy ears in the mail the other day. I can't say for sure, but that's all I'm saying right now. Number two, ain't nothing wrong with that. And race, it's petawatts or oh my god.
No, it's the food organization, vegan organization watts.
Oh, petawatts.
Yeah, PETA.
Petawatts. Okay.
Or what is it in French? Fart watts.
Furwatts? That's a
Fart.
Oh, farkwads.
Well, in French, PETA means fart, I think. So it's fart watts.
Okay, and Lieutenant, here's the thing, Lieutenant Knives. We're discussing the Sonic verse right now. That's very cute. I still stand by the outcome of 1 minute melee in Sonic versus the Flash. The Flash think he kicks his butt, and then he busts out the Chaos Emerald. So he's like, "WTF, mate?" I'm going with it. All right, have a nice night, Lucy. We'll catch you.
So,
Okay.
where was I? So the 1,400 times 1.6 gives us the number 2240. That's how many kilometers he travels in the 5 seconds. Per second, 448 kilometers.
What was the total kilometers?
2240.
2240. Okay, gotcha.
And my number might be different because I might have forgotten to divide by that. So, 448 kilometers per second. He's going at that rate of that speed per second. So then we multiply that by his mass to get velocity. No, not velocity, force. Herp to derp.
Times mass, which is 35 kg.
Okay, and I'm getting 15,680. And then we take that number and we multiply that by
What was the 15k?
15K is the newtons.
Okay, newtons. Gotcha.
That's newtons per second, I think. So 15K 680 for the newtons, and then we multiply that by what is it? I'm forgetting my physics now.
It's all right. I'm scrolling back up. This is why I wrote it down.
Let me double check this
Okay.
because I want to make sure I'm getting it right.
So we got newtons. You had 250 newtons equaled about 20 million joules. So we have to go from newtons to joules, I believe.
Yeah, and so then
Newtons accelerate says newtons is meters per second. Thank you. See, that's why I'm like, dude, Excel, if you're around, pop on, man. You understand the maths.
So we're at 15,000 newtons. Then we multiply that by the distance, which was the 2240.
Okay. So times 2240.
But that's
And-
kilometers, so we have to multiply that by 1,000.
Oh, so times 1,000 would equal to
I'm
240.
getting 3.5 times 10 to the 10th power.
Wh- I'm lost.
So we have our newtons, right?
Right.
To move it to joules, we need to multiply it by displacement. Now,
Okay.
technically, the displacement's 0 because he's moving there and back,
Right.
but
We'll leave G-force out at the moment. Well, because he would crash into the ocean, stop, and then go back.
yeah,
For simplicity's sake, let's just say total distance traveled.
yeah, that
Okay.
so that's the 240 22 I'm derping on this 2,240, right?
Yep.
Then we multiply that 1,000 to get it from kilometers to meters.
We multiply or we divide.
We multiply
To
because
get it to meters, we would divide by 1,000 to get it to meters.
no, you would multiply it because we're going from kilometers to meters. A kilometer is 1,000 meters.
Oh, to meters. Okay, gotcha.
Big brain.
Okay, yes, really.
So when you multiply those together, you get your joules. And I'm getting 3.5 times 10 to the 10th, which is, well, that's 35 gigawatts.
Okay, hold on. So we're doing 2.24 million joules per meter.
That's the total distance.
Okay, that's okay. So that's okay.
We were just converting from kilometers to meters.
Total meters. Okay, so total meters, we standardize it. Okay, and then we multiply that by the 35 kg.
Yep.
Okay, 35.
And that will get
PT.
us to joules, which
Okay.
is units of energy.
So what was it? It was
35
35.
billion. Yeah, 35 billion.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's joules. Is it just straight joules?
Yeah, it would just be joules.
Okay. So 35 billion joules.
Yep.
All right. So, what does
that-
what does that convert out into, like watts or something? Like something people are
Well-
more familiar with.
Watts is joules per second. And this is over the course of 5 seconds. So that's that many joules in 5 seconds, so we would just divide it by 5.
See, accelerate. He's saying he got about 44 terajoules. I'm not sure if he's talking about something else or just within this calculation.
I don't know. There's a few different ways to do that.
What was it? Was 3.5 or whatever. 10 to the what?
10 to the 10th, which would be
Okay.
giga.
Okay. 10 to the 10th, or is giga 10 to the 9th? Oh, the first one is a given. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Maths.
I don't know. I would have to see the work there.
Oh yeah. No. I hear you. I hear you. For Lieutenant.
I think one of us cut out.
That's me. I should be back in a second. La
There you
la 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 la. Okay, I
There
return.
we go.
All right.
Anyways, so that gives me, when you divide that by 5, 7 gigawatts.
Okay. So we're doing the 35 million joules. Well, hold on. We need to go a step back. I'm sorry. I fell behind. I was looking at something shiny.
Fair. The 35
35 million.
is from
And what's the conversion?
from joules to watts is just divided by 5 because it's per second. And it happened over 5 seconds.
Okay. So that brings us to, what was it? 7.8 something?
7 billion. Almost even. It's 7,240,000 no, 7,024,640,000 joules.
4,000,000. That's 640,000 joules.
Yep. Well, watts actually at that point. My bad.
640,000 watts. Oh, so that's like over 7 gigawatts.
Yep. It's not quite.
There's a little, the conversion is a little different. I remember something kind of like that.
Like I don't think that's actually like unlimited power, but that's Sonic Space form.
Yeah, yeah. And again, we're not even sure if that's his full power there, or he's just like, I'm going to take a look. And again, remember, he also crashed into the ocean, and he came back with a fish on his head.
Yeah, so honestly, we could multiply that because like the realization, oh, I just crashed into the ocean. Probably took a second. So, over 4 seconds, then slowing down because you're crashing into the ocean, heading back.
Right. So now here's one of my theories. Since Dr. Robotnik basically he's like, oh, it's whatever it is, it's unlimited power. Perhaps it may be unlimited, but that power has a certain peak there. Basically, his quill is a renewable resource. It regenerates, but it only has so much power.
Yeah, that would make sense because, like, at least the way that we're looking at it, like, the way he's kind of behaving, at least in the movies. I mean, the movies' way of explaining Sonic is a lot different than other stuff. Because, for instance, Sonic also has a pair of shoes in the games, which triples his speed.
Well, that's the thing. We haven't even considered power-ups at this point, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, so let's just assume that this is all accurate, and I personally think it's kind of conservative.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely is.
Let's up it to supersonic.
So supersonic can reportedly go about twice as fast, but then you also have flying, so there's less friction, and arguably you can make an argument on less air friction.
Well, no, actually, no. Citing canon from the movie, he crashed in the Pacific Ocean, and he came back with a fish on his head. My question is, why wasn't that fish completely fried?
Oh, that's there's a YouTuber named Chugga Conroy, and whenever weird logic happens in video games, he calls it Nintendo logic, Sega logic. Let's just call it Sega logic.
I like. Well, was it Lucy Lawless explained this on The Simpsons a long time ago? It's like, well, when in doubt, a wizard did it.
It does work. With the Flash, the TV series that was in the early 2000s, 90s, I can't remember the exact date. The first episode, they have him running around a racetrack.
Yeah.
And he's going 350 miles an hour, which is about it's a little slower than Sonic by our original estimates, but in any case, his clothes are burning off at that speed.
Right.
So like that fish would be thoroughly cooked.
Well, that's the thing. It would have been like, well, what he used to say is the fish would have been up, over, and gone, like literally disintegrated into like fish stick nothingness by the speed there, and as well as welcome Nerdy Rodent, welcome Shale, as well as Brad. Welcome everybody. We're discussing the finer points of the physics of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, like you could actually argue that Sonic was slowing himself down in some aspects, because like look at like when he takes on that car in the trailer, at least the armored car that Eggman has. So he's not moving that fast in that, but I think what he's doing is he's spinning himself. It's slowing him down, but he's spinning himself so that it's a more destructive thing. He's turning himself into a hedgehog blender.
Well, that's the thing. No, it's the spin dash move, dude. From Sonic 2 onward, man.
Yeah.
Like, actually, that's how you do the speed runs in Sonic 2. You start off and you just spin dash to kind of get going, because you're literally going from, like, 0 to nearly full speed in right about a second, maybe less there.
Yeah.
And this also goes back to, if you remember from the trailer, after he kind of, like, takes out that car there, he's, like, I forget who it is, Tom from the movie. He's like, how are you still alive? He's like, I have no idea. This goes into the durability of Sonic.
Oh yeah, no, it's super durability.
Well, that's the thing. It's okay. So, and somebody had asked earlier how strong his bones must be. So let's go into a little bit of the durability of one Sonic the Hedgehog. So now that we have these calculations, what level of durability must Sonic have to not literally blow up? Because I think Excel was saying one of his calculations there. Where was it? Because he had about 44 terajoules, which
Yep.
was just under Hiroshima.
Yep.
So literally by traveling there and back roughly was the amount of energy in the first nuclear weapon dropped in combat.
Well, like, what was it with the trailer's all I've seen, but the event that kind of piqued interest in Sonic and got Eggman involved was when he caused that EMP just from running so fast. It's like the amount of force behind that is just what even.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting thing. Okay, what would it take to take out power in the entire Northwest Pacific?
Like, to do that, you would have to cause nuclear fission between the atoms.
Now, fission or fusion?
Probably. Actually, fusion would probably make more sense there. Although it could be either, because you could see it as you're moving so fast that basically you're ripping the atoms around you apart,
Yeah.
or that you're smashing them together into more complex atoms.
Okay, so how fast would one need to go to smashing into just standard like O2 molecules floating around here to do it in a way to commit an EMP to take out power of the entire Pacific Northwest while at the same time managing not to blow everything up?
To put it in perspective, the sun uses fusion.
I know, but all I remember is, what was it? When I was back in high school, we were pitching. We had a satellite uplink with one of the local colleges, and I remember I had proposed to the professor. I'm like, so rather than just like either splitting the atom or fusing the atom, let's say you were able to actually split apart the actual parts of the atom itself, like not the molecules.
Into the quarks and whatnot.
Yes. And then I still remember this. The professor kind of just took a momentary pause and then responded, well, in theory, you would have created what's known as a neutron bomb, a nuclear device that has a lower explosive yield but extreme electromagnetic pulse that essentially kills all life.
There is a Vsauce did a video basically explaining how hot it can get, and the answer is like 10 or no, 1.1 times 10 to the 14th Kelvin or Celsius, because at that scale it doesn't matter.
That sounds like plasma.
Oh, it's hotter. Because
Oh.
plasma is when the electrons get so excited that they start to just wander away from the nucleus of an atom. But this is where the parts of the atoms just start to kind of liquefy. Although it wouldn't be liquefying because that's at an atomic level. But you get what I mean. It all kind of mixes together.
So at that point, kind of the neutrons and the quarks that make it up kind of almost take the form of an electron, which is apparently a field now. So it's just kind of here, there, and we're not quite sure.
But like, I can't remember. It's like if you brought a bit of the sun, like just equivalent to the head of a pin from the center of the sun,
Right.
it would kill like all of Europe if you put it like in Germany.
Let's not give anybody any ideas, because all we know is, based upon what we're discussing before the show, certain places allow for instantaneous travel, whether it's Ark's butthole or other places.
Well, I mean, he does have a magic. I'm not going there.
Careful, Lieutenant Timberwolf is here. We don't need Ark getting sent a dozen chocolate buttholes. You should totally send him some chocolate buttholes. I mean,
Honestly, yeah. Send him to Steam, and Steam will send him to Arc. She knows.
Steam knows the way.
The Steam knows the way to Arc's ass.
Oh dear. Oh god. Somehow it's so. Is this why furries get a bad name?
Yes.
Okay? Just because all of a sudden we're talking about something and it just happens to involve an anthropomorphic hedgehog, and then we devolved into eating chocolate buttholes.
Exactly.
No, I'm not surprised. So, continue, Froman. Sonic's durability.
So, at that heat, it's just extraordinarily. But it wouldn't cause an EMP, I think. But yeah, he would kill a lot of people with that. The EMP is actually just kind of like that's the best case scenario. Realistically, it should have just killed everyone.
Well, that was the thing. It's like, all right, it knocked out the power, but nobody happened to die, and there wasn't a massive fallout as well. So we're gonna go with a wizard did it.
There's also the interesting question, a plot hole in it. If it caused a massive EMP, just Sonic running, why didn't he use that throughout the movie?
That actually is kind of touched upon throughout the movie. I won't spoil it for you. Let's just say it's similar to think Super Saiyan. I'll leave it at that.
Like, you don't want to harm the rest of the world, kind of thing, sort of, right?
I go more emotionally based.
Fair. In any case, I don't know. That seems like a little bit of a plot hole when the going gets tough.
I'm sure that will be explained in the future of the Sonic verse.
I do have to ask, was Tails in there?
You should watch my movie review.
I'm lazy, but I'll look into it later.
It's definitely set up for a Sonic 2. I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough. But realistically, the EMP thing that Sonic set off, the amount of power to do that is well within the estimates that we gave. At least, because nuclear bombs do give off EMPs.
Right.
Just this is, instead of producing pure heat, all the energy went into an EMP.
Right.
So I think that's very doable, although that's just my imagination at work. I have no idea how to calculate that.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, in order to exert that amount of power, and to not do that in and of itself is kind of a miracle.
Yeah. I think the game theorists did it. They did an estimate of Sonic in his first game, how fast he could run, and it was pretty slow. He was slower than Mario.
I could probably see that. The first game, if you're just going based upon it, again, if he's only 3 feet tall and stuff like that, it's...
Sonic 06 was probably... It did Sonic speed the most justice, I think. Even though there was so much wrong with it.
Well, I mean, yes. And Sheo already brought up Sonic 06 as I told him we had discussed that a little bit before at the outset, and all of the fandom's reaction to it. Again, I never played it. I heard things. I watched the cutscenes.
See, I can acknowledge there's a lot wrong with it, but it's not the worst thing in existence.
Sonic Spinball?
I have not played that one.
Okay, I did. I thought it was going to be Sonic, but it was basically a pinball game.
Oh, it's like Pokemon Pinball. Actually, Pokemon Pinball was pretty good.
It was more annoying, and probably because, well, I was also a kid, and I was expecting other things, and I got shiny by other things. These things happen.
Sonic Rush also did it okay, although his speed isn't that good in there. Because at that speed, he should be able to run. Or Sonic Rush 2 specifically. He's transported to Blaze's dimension.
Yeah.
Which is apparently mostly ocean.
Right.
So, Sonic can't swim, but he technically is fast enough to where he can run on water.
Right. Well, see, that's a very interesting thing, and that's been Sonic canon for a while. Sonic don't know how to swim.
Yep.
I still remember that from a couple of different things. He's like, oh god. It's like trying to toss a dwarf or something. It's like, no, they just don't really go together. Special occasions.
but like getting from world to world in Sonic Rush was, like taking a jet ski or something along those lines. Um,
I did kind of notice that because which was the one where he was like on the surfboards, or they weren't the surfboards, they were like the hoverboards.
Sonic Riders. I do have that one too.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
That one actually was pretty good, although I don't know why they didn't give Sonic running the ability. He was slower running than he was on the hoverboards.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I thought the whole point of the hoverboard was so that like it would be more fair.
Like Shadow had his shoes, and he could actually run on his shoes.
Is that how he got like the roller skating thing going? It looks like a roller skates, like he's just kind of like
I
going
think that might have
along.
something else, but
Okay.
Well, Shadow. If you're talking about Shadow, his shoes are rocket powered.
Oh. Now is Shadow kind of just like an actual living fusion of like Metal Sonic and Sonic?
No, there's a few different ways that Shadow lore came around. Like the Shadow the Hedgehog has it as I do have that game. I've never played it, but I do have it. The Sonic X. I'll use Sonic X as an
Right.
example, where it was the creation of Dr. Ivo Robotnik, which is Eggman's grandfather in that timeline.
Okay. All right. Yeah, go on.
So
He was the ultimate life form.
he was the ultimate life form,
Right.
although he was kind of a copy of the other Shadow, which was a giant turtle.
Wait. What?
Let me get a picture and I'll send it to you through Discord.
I like turtles. Continue.
Well, like this Shadow was about half of the moon.
What? Okay. Now I'm going in a whole bunch of different directions here. I'm thinking like, wait, what? It's this?
I'm trying to find it. I can't. But Project Shadow was a giant lizard to be an ultimate life form, basically to kill all of humanity. And Shadow was more of a small hedgehog clone thing of that to be friends with his granddaughter.
So Shadow is basically a shard of the destructive over turtle that wished to destroy humanity, and then Shadow was created to be friends with his granddaughter?
In a weird way. Like you'd have to see the show. It's on Netflix. Like Sonic X. It had a bad beginning, but it ended up okay.
Now, now which one? I remember the one where he gets like brought back with the Chaos Emeralds, and he's there with like Silver and Shadow and stuff, and then they start going to town.
That's Sonic. That's Sonic 06, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
Because that's the one where you have Sonic, Silver, and Shadow. You have a campaign for each of them. It's where it's no use. Take this.
So that's where that meme came from. Okay.
Yeah, no, and that's because when you were fighting Silver, and you did it with both Sonic and Shadow, you would fight Silver, and they had a skybox, or like a box for the arena, and basically what would happen, like a good 20 to 30% of the time, when you would fight him, it would just be you would attack him. He would get a hold of you with his psychic ability and then throw you against the wall of the arena.
Oh yeah, and then he kind of kept spamming it and stuff like that. And
Well, if he threw you straight up,
yeah.
you'd fall down right on him, and then he'd grab you, throw you straight up, and so on and so forth. You would be stuck there until you died.
Oh.
And every time that you got caught by him, it would be, it's no use! Take this!
All right then. Well, I guess I learned something new every day.
It's traumatizing.
Oh, I can imagine.
Although I will say that the Shadow gameplay was the best part of that game. because it had everything good with Sonic, with none of the bad things with Sonic.
That sounds like kind of what I've heard from like some other folks and everything. But getting back into the mathematics here, how durable is Sonic?
That too much? Like, I mean, we've already established that he could survive nukes.
What? Simply because of his energy output?
Yeah, no, he's the epicenter of that. Like, you're taking a nuke to the face, you're the epicenter of the entire nuclear bomb.
Okay, I have a theory. I have a theory, and this I'm actually going to tie it in with the fish on his head as well. Have you watched the new Godzilla Netflix series by any chance?
I have not.
Okay, so basically, Godzilla emerges in this iteration here, and basically he just destroys the entire planet. At one point, they launch 150 nuclear warheads at him to try to destroy him in the middle of America. Don't do anything.
Yeah, no, Godzilla has survived nukes before. Before it did that.
Well, here's the thing, and this is one of the reasons why Godzilla Earth, while not necessarily my favorite Godzilla, is overpowered as hell. Because basically, what he actually has is an asymmetric shield, and what happens is there's a particular organ underneath one of his dorsals that emits a certain sonic frequency that no matter how powerful the force against it, it basically just disperses it, and it's like located directly under his skin there, and kind of forms a barrier slightly above. So it is my theory that Sonic works under the same principle. So whether these are within his quills itself, is a particular organ that he has or something, he's generating a particular asymmetrical shield, if you would, that and again, it depends on the type of attack. Because just like if you're just firing just like a shotgun at Godzilla, it wouldn't activate. So you'd still be pelted. And I'll stick with this because at the same time, Sonic gets hit with a trank dart, which we know from the trailer.
It's true. He does get hit with a train. See, I think that's more of like a fleshy bit versus, I mean, because wizard, if you will.
Yeah.
But
well, he goes into spin, and the quills are different.
Like, maybe it's like a combat mode sort of built into him when he starts moving around. That's a way that you could kind of explain it. It's like because like Sonic Heroes, while you are attacking with any of the characters, but specifically with like Sonic or the speed mode equivalents of them, if you're attacking, you are invincible. So it could be just like moving so fast that you're invulnerable. Quantum. There's quantum probabilistic mumbo jumbo essentially is that state says that most things are impossible. Well, not impossible, but are very improbable. For instance,
Right.
there is a non-zero chance that my body every atom inside of it will destabilize, set off a nuclear explosion, killing me right now.
Well, exactly, and I always give the example like there is a chance where a 7-foot tall giant flaming gummy bear could crash through my roof, drop on my head right now. It's possible. It's just not probable. Kind of like the smoking rat thought that this stream wasn't probably going to happen. Hey, rat.
Hi. Well, like with Sonic, you could say that because of the speed that he's moving, it could also be vibrating his atoms at such a way that things just kind of phase through him. But it's a one-way sort of thing. Like it creates a essentially membrane of
An asymmetrical shield.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, this might actually be something. I think we might be on to some Sonic physics here, man. I think we're discovering things. All it took was combining a new movie about an anthropomorphic hedgehog and a Netflix series about Godzilla. We have to grab our source material.
It sounds like that the middle ground of this would be Vector, the alligator from Sonic.
Ooh, well, he is a scaly.
He is. unfortunately. I mean, nothing whatsoever.
Wait a second. Now I'm feeling conflicted because as a lifelong scaly, at least since according to preschool, where at that time my progress report read, it's like memes has stopped growling at the children and begun to associate with them. It's like, okay, you're making friends. I've been scaly for a long time.
I mean, fair. Vector is actually Vector, Espio, and Charmy are an interesting trio in Sonic. Because Espio is not as fast as Sonic, but he's kind of there, and he's a 3 foot tall rhino. That
Oh.
that is also a ninja.
So
And he can
so
turn
he's got,
invisible.
so he's a small rhinoceros that is also a ninja.
Yes,
Well, that harken backs to Beverly Hills Ninja.
it's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Rhino.
Heroes in a half horn, rhino power. Hunting rhinos is bad. They are endangered. Be kind. Please mind.
Yeah. In any case, Sonic's durability too damn high.
Let's put this in perspective. Like, what factor would it go up by? Because he's fast as all hell if he's going at, what is it, like 2,000 meters per second or something.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was more than that. I need to scroll up. Continue.
2240 meters per second. No, 448 meters per second, because that was the distance over. No,
No, it's more than that.
400
It's like 2,000 meters per second or
it was
something.
2,240 kilometers in 5 seconds
It was 2,240 kilometers total.
for 5 seconds.
448 kilometers per second, not meters per second. It's
Yeah.
448 km per second. Okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty fast. I want to.
Can we do the G's on that?
Do you want to see?
Let's do it. Let's figure out the G's of Sonic the Hedgehog because he is an OG.
Well, let's say he accelerates that speed in a second. So that's 9.8. So that's 448,000 over 9.8. That's about 45,000 G's.
Oh, okay. Is that all?
So that's 45,714 G's.
I think Excel said it best. It's a shit ton.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So you're saying humans can basically die at what, like 5 G's?
At 5 G's, that will kill a human.
Oh. So do we divide 45,000 times 5 and we get up to, was it, so that's 9. So
That's over 9,000.
He's times more durable than a human. I think we solved it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's beautiful. I love it. Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, gee. Oh, my God. We're combining so many things. Oh, the giggles and the maths and everything like that. I'm so happy I did this.
Yeah, so over 9,000 G's, we've solved the quantum entanglement between Dragon Ball Z and Sonic.
Well, see, this brings up another interesting thing, and we'll have to do this for another time. We'll have to calculate the power in, like, Dragon Ball Z and Naruto.
Oh, there's various people who've done that. Death Battle did it very well.
Right.
Dragon Ball Z is just out of this league.
Dragon Ball has been done so many times. I haven't seen as much for Naruto, because I still remember the comparison of, like, Naruto destroying basically the moon.
Yep, he's done that, and technically, by Sonic standards, Knuckles is stronger than Sonic. Sonic's faster, but Knuckles is stronger. So,
Right.
and Knuckles punched a satellite on the moon.
He punched it to the moon, or
Well, it was a satellite. Basically, this was during the Sonic saga, or the Shadow saga, where
Right.
you had the giant ultimate life form turtle thing.
yeah.
And that basically the setup for that was Eggman blew up half the moon, and then rebuilt it and made it so that it was a perpetual eclipse, so that he could sell light bulbs that induce a or a subconscious pro Eggman propaganda. As weird as that sounds, and Knuckles punched the satellite on the moon to make it so that the moon would enter a natural orbit and it would, not just kind of sit there causing a perpetual eclipse.
So he moved the moon.
Yes.
Okay.
Although it wasn't his strength that did it.
What was it, like Chaos Emeralds or?
No, like he literally just punched it. It was the moon was going through a normal orbit. The physics makes no sense in there, and we can get into Newtonian equations of this, but
Well, actually, Excel brings up a great point here. It's the problem with Death Battle is the rules of the universe matters. They need a home universe advantage take. My kind of thing is that you do your best you can, because it's kind of like I've heard folks say it's like, well, blah blah blah, like Goku doesn't have chakra, he has ki. I'm like, okay, are we arguing semantics here? Because all I know is like chakra and ki is essentially the same thing. What it says, your
They're
mythical
all
spirit energy.
exactly. But like through Dragon Ball and Naruto specifically, Dragon Ball is still a lot stronger and a lot faster. I mean, they had Jiraiya versus Master Yoshi, and it was like Yoshi's kind of
I haven't seen it yet. No spoilers. I
fair.
need to go back and watch it. Okay.
Well, just to put it in
Yeah.
perspective, Yoshi's a lot stronger than Jiraiya.
I can believe that.
And like Jiraiya's main summon thing is the Toad Master. It's it's a frog that's like this 100-foot tall frog. It's a kaiju frog.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. But Yoshi can just kind of pick it up and yeet it.
Well, that's the thing. Even going back to original Dragon Ball and stuff, like he's picking up like what 10-ton boulders and stuff like
yeah.
that with Goku and Krillin, and that was the thing. He actually taught it to them as well. And then if you actually include like the Dragon Ball Super arc as well, where Master Roshi's actually fighting it, you're like, why the hell would they have Master Roshi there? It's a Royal Rumble, and he has experience.
Yeah, no, he could take on Goku. He wouldn't do well, but he could take on Goku.
Right. Well, that was the big thing before the Universal Tournament arc. Goku went around and was going Super Saiyan Blue and fighting people. So, was he going full power? Oh, hell no. But the thing is, it was that sheer confidence booster. Whereas, like, even days with Krillin, like, shooting Kamehamehas at each other and everything, it's like, yeah, it's like, I'm going up against Super Saiyan Blue. Yeah, it might be at, like, 1% or so. But still, it's that confidence booster. Because confidence does make a difference.
And like the Super Saiyan scaling, it's like Super Saiyan Form 1 is times 50, Super Saiyan Form 2 is times 100, the times 3 is like times 400 or something like that.
The problem is once you really got to the Frieza saga,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you went from, it's like, all right, you've got a battle power of 1200. That Cyberman is as strong as rest. Oh my god, Goku hit like 32k before he broke the scouter and pissed off Vegeta up into the sky. And then you get to Frieza and it's like, okay, so he went from like 5,000
Well,
to like 150 million.
well, you just had Gohan get mad at Vegeta, and that's where over 9,000 comes from. And it's because the battle power is utterly meaningless.
Well, that was because Goku had powered up, and I think he'd used the Kaioken for a brief second.
Yeah.
Because that was when he's just like, screw the scouter. And actually, now, wasn't that one of the things, and actually, isn't that a symbol of Toriyama kind of saying that, like, we have this unit of measurement, and it's going to measure something. Does it necessarily mean you're going to win? No. But the whole Vegeta ripping off and breaking the scouter, isn't that kind of symbolic of power levels don't mean shit?
Oh yeah, no, the whole point of it was that it was utterly meaningless, and one of the animes that I haven't seen if
He's
they
not a
updated.
battle. Yeah.
Like with it's Seven Deadly Sins, and they put in power levels, and it was like the anime was doing really well, and then they threw that in, and everything became cheesy after that.
Well, see, and again, the power scaling community would highly disagree with that statement and everything. And I do at least like the sheer fact that because well, they're kind of doing what we're doing here. We're utilizing math and numbers. We're gamifying it in a way. That's why I still like actually listening to a lot of those videos and everything. Yeah. But it's just kind of the fact. It's like, okay, what specifically are you measuring? Are you measuring their energy output? Because we could do a conversion for that coin.
This was within the anime itself using. They had 3 things, which was like strength, magic ability, and willpower or something like that, and you added those together and that was your total power. And so like
my thing is the way they kind of had it, I saw that as more of just raw power being, and again, like even like was it when Trunks was fighting Imperfect Cell, or actually no, was it Imperfect or even no, it was Perfect Cell. When he was fighting that, he kept bulking up, and it's like, oh, he has this great immense power, but he didn't have the speed. So his battle, even if his battle power was technically higher, which even Cell could copy as well, it didn't necessarily matter at that point, because I think in order to find it out what's generally better as far as what might be able to beat what, I kind of view it as kind of like the Pokemon cards or stuff like that, where they have like the 5 things. It's kind of like a pentagram, and then you just kind of have the ratios there, and it just kind of gives you a better aspect. I feel like that's more accurate as well. Because, see, for me, power level is more just like the ability for you to do something. Like, it's like, all right, I can destroy a planet at this amount, because that I can equate my battle output to either punch the planet in half or just you launch a Kamehameha, a Gallic gun, or something like that. Yeah. I tended to view it as that. Whereas in order what would actually work, and this was one of the reasons why Master Roshi within the tournament was good, because he also did have that experience. So he might be combating a stronger opponent that may have a far higher power, but since he had that experience within fighting within tournaments, he was able to it's kind of like judo, man. You're using a person's own force against them.
Yeah. You know,
in jiu-jitsu.
That's fair. I don't know. The scaling of powers, I think it's nice to know where people are stronger and weaker, but trying to like quantify it into a specific score, it's cheesy. Well,
the Smoking Rat kind of just calls it out. It's like, to quote Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z Abridged, power levels are bullshit. Oops, I'm sorry. I apologize, Miss Kathy, for my profanity. I didn't know this stream would necessarily interest you. No, Miss Kathy, she actually was a teacher for a number of years. She's retired now.
Fair. I'm going to college to be a teacher, so.
Oh, sweet. No, maybe you should pop on. She actually did a real talk with Miss Kathy. She does on a fairly regular basis, where she'll get different folks on. She had a nice young gentleman that was in like the film industry and stuff earlier. But that's the very interesting thing. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to take a topic of pop culture, Miss Kathy, for a quick overview, and just kind of do some calculations, and based upon our observations, the potential output of Sonic. And we got down to something like, what was it? It was like 7 gigawatts or something like that for output over the course of 5 seconds. And Sonic moves at approximately can withstand 45,000 Gs.
Yeah, no, that's pretty oof.
Oh, no worries. No, his son's having a bro night in the basement. Are they playing Dungeons and Dragons? Because that's what we used to do. We used to be in the basement. We'd bust out the figurines, go on a good campaign, which is essentially what we're doing. Because when we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, it's like, all right, you got your character sheet. You're in a particular situation. You need to survive and get out and accomplish these particular objectives here. It's theory craft. It's math. It's crunching numbers. You're trying to figure out the probability you can do this, and then you incorporate the different character quirks. Like my dwarf, he often, after drinking, would sleep. And while other characters would easily wake up, because my dwarf was kind of overpowered for a number of reasons, so I had to give him some flaws. His flaws was he moved 25% slower than the average dwarf. So instead of 20 feet a turn, he only moved 15. And when he was asleep, I have to roll decently well to wake up. Like, even my DM's like, you can wake up now. I'm like, nah, 7 isn't good enough. And, like, the party's kind of getting cracked. It's like, all right, 19. It's like, all right, you burst through the wall of the frickin' tavern and stuff. It's like, all right, let's get it on, laddies.
That's beautiful. One of the things I've been trying to do with Ezub and a few other people is, I can't remember the kind of D&D, but it's a different way of doing it. Like, instead of rolling like a
D20.
well, no, you would roll a d20, but instead of rolling to see, oh, my stat is +3 or whatever, it's
Oh, it's a point buy system.
I have to get higher than this stat in order to succeed.
Oh, that sounds like I think it's 5th edition. I believe they simplified things a lot.
Yeah, no, it is very simplified, and it was because it was with Steam, and she's not that good with math.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, Rat. Dude, Doc Brown, we're right about. Actually, it's almost 6 times that. 6 times 1.1 gigawatts there. We could go back and forth through time several times.
With in StarCraft 2, there's a guy named Tychus Finley, and there's a mission where you take a laser drill and you shoot at a door, and that's literally the entire mission. You're defending while this drill is shooting at a door, and I believe they say it's 1.41 gigawatts, the power of the sun at our fingertips.
Well, then, what you just say? Like, the head of a pin of the center of the sun would literally destroy, like, a vast amount of Europe just for the amount of energy or heat release that would be?
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Oh, jeez. Well, okay, so we've covered the durability, we've covered this and that. I mean, I'm in a pretty good place right now. Is there anything else you want to cover related to Sonic or Mathem in and of itself?
I mean, I'm good to go. I'm the bouncing table for Spurk.
Well, that's because we literally started to get into this after our stream the other day. I just kind of started to ask the question. You're like, well, and you started to go into it. I'm like, this is fascinating. We need to do a stream on this, and as soon as I come back, I will actually be able to speak words. You will be able to hear me. La 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 la. I don't know. Can you hear me?
I think I can.
Okay, I had no idea. I saw a little blank out.
I could be hallucinating this whole thing.
This is true. I mean, it's possible. I'm not sure the probability. If you had some cybacillin before this, I would say it's a higher probability.
Well, I mean, if you want to get into philosophy, let's talk about the Cartesian demon.
That sounds familiar. I feel like I should know what that is. Let's touch upon this for our last topic.
It's basically the Matrix before computers were around.
Oh, so like the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, in a sense. Instead of reality being what you and I observe, it's a demon feeding you illusions about what reality actually is.
So it's kind of like the internet.
Yes. Sorry, I was a theater kid, and rule one of improv, never say no.
I wait. That's a rule. I somehow think I kind of do that at times, and that's probably why there's certain theories on the internet about my backyard being very dug up and potentially storing a number of my previous ex-Mrs. memes in the ground there. Because I just kept talking about things, and some people just, their minds, universal truth number 6, our minds tend towards the worst place.
Oh yeah.
Hey Jinx, how you doing? Oh yeah, we're just discussing, if you scroll up a little bit, you should see some of our numbers. What we've determined is, within the time, approximately 5 seconds, for Sonic to leave Montana, go due west. It's about 1,400 kilometers. No, excuse me, 1,400 miles round trip, where he crashed in the ocean. He comes back with the fish on his head. So we estimate it. So Sonic's generated about 7 gigawatts of energy and can withstand the force of about 45,000 times the Earth's gravity. To put it in perspective, a human dies at about 5 times Earth's gravity.
There you go. Big brain. There's another cutout, I think.
No, I'm cutting. Am I back? I think I'm back.
You're back.
I think I'm okay. I'm on the tail end of a note. I need to give my ISP a call and either have them lower my bill significantly or boost my net up to another level.
Fair.
But that's what we got. Anything else that you did want to touch on, Froman?
I think I'm good. I can spurg on forever on just about any topic. So.
I resemble that remark. Let's open up to the chat. Let's chat. Do you have any questions regarding anything Sonic, anything physics, anything kind of along those lines? We'll give it about a minute or so, see if we have any interesting questions that, of course, people are going to troll us with, because it's the internet, and it's that, what, cyber demon thingamajigger?
It's Cartesian demon, but yes.
Cartesian demon, yes. Oh, we can call it the cyber demon. We'll get to Doom references. We'll just have to spell it, like, differently.
Yeah.
Copyright reasons. Jinxie is working. Izu just wants to hear about pop culture here.
Well,
how about this? I'm going to do something that may not be wise. We're going to toss a link in the chat, and we're going to see what happens. So if Izu, if you want to come up for a few minutes, I know you and Froman can go at it literally forever, because I've listened to so many of these off-air conversations, and they're fast. So that's the thing that I like, because a lot of times before stream and after the stream, that's when you have some of the best conversations. Like even me just like stumbling around my room, like setting up the green screen and stuff. Like that's fun. It's a learning experience. So yeah, if somebody wants to pop up for a few minutes and talk something kind of related, either Sonic, physics, something like that, pop culture, hey, let's have at it. I got at least another like 10, 15 minutes in me. So yeah, we could just kind of go that way. But, okay, all I know is... Go on.
oh, put you on the spot. You haven't joined my clan in Raid Shadow Legends.
It's very true. I literally just started playing... Dude, that game is actually pretty fun.
Yeah, it's repetitive, but it's very fun.
Well, they took out a lot of the pain in the butt things from other games like that I've played. The sheer fact that, like, literally, I'm at the store earlier, I'm standing in line, and I have auto ×2 speed on, and as long as I'm not going against like a super uber boss that's going to wreck me anyway, I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then I can level up my gear and go through this and that. I'm like, it is an actually fun game, but the sheer fact, like I was telling you, literally the only reason I didn't download it was because everybody was showing it. It's like when I have everybody just blatantly telling me, do this, it just turned me off.
Yeah, no, and like it was... I meme about it all the time. I joke with people on the ANCAP area of Discord. Have you heard about my sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends? And I'll hop into voice chat, and because I have Nitro, I can stream Raid onto Discord whenever I want.
Oh, well, that's right. No, the app needs to boot back up. I had it.
I can stream it onto here if you want.
Okay. How do I give you credit for this? The referral program. Hold on.
The referral link, you would have had to use the link that I sent you way back.
I used it. I clicked on it. That's how I downloaded it.
Okay, so it's already given it to me. Let me bring mine up, and I'll show you.
Oh, I need to join your clan. That's right.
Yeah, that's all you need to do, and I'll bring this up and screen capture it to shill.
Okay. Clans. What am I looking for? I remember you sent this to me.
I did send it to you before.
Okay. Hold on. I'll bring it back up on Discord.
And Ezub's already in there.
Angry-Fromun. Let me go past our... Oh god, the other artwork.
It's Froman's domain, and let me just turn on screen share to Raid Shadow Legends.
Okay, I got you. All right, so... All right, there. Ooh. There we go. Look at... Oh, we're doing some gaming. All right, I'm typing in your thingy. And...
Oh, did I switch it to me? I apologize if I did.
Oh, no, I did that.
Yeah, so... I don't like how it just kind of bombards you with ads a little bit, but...
That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It's free.
So, there's our setup for the clan, and there's the name right here.
It's all right. I'm joining. I clicked it. Okay.
There you go.
Where are we? Yep, we're here, dude. We're here. All right, I'm gonna need
And
to update my name. Unfortunately, I can't do my full name. It's too long, and memes was already taken. Although, what's actually interesting on Dave Rubin's like locals app community, I am the first person to actually put down memes. And memes of destruction, it won't let me put the end, so I just kept my handle at memes.
that's beautiful.
I still need to update. I've been posting like I've been telling. Actually, I need to go back and upload as soon as we get off of this to like Daily Motion, Pornhub, because we need to divert. Dude, each one of these platforms is a different community. Dude, like take Vine. Like as soon as Vine went under, a lot of those folks just popped over to YouTube. Whether it's like the Paul brothers, Gabby Hanna, or whoever, it's like they already had a big following, and they're basically doing the same thing. It's just different communities.
Well, look. When I get into the Pornhub community, when you upload it, they are going to want more.
Have you been in any of the content yet? No, Ark and Joker have been.
I'm not sure. No, I probably haven't been, at least directly. I've probably been in the background because of, Arc streams.
Well, I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if I've done any of those recently. You're definitely on my YouTube channel, but
Look at this big boy.
ooh, I remember.
That's my badass.
That's your sweeper lifesteal / turn denier.
Yeah, pretty much. He doesn't have lifesteal, but yeah.
Oh, I remember. No, you were showing it to me. You were showing me your team the other day, and I'm kind of like, well, the thing is, it is very similar to a lot of other things that you kind of see here on the net. Because as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, wait a second. I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, so attack, HP, damage, this, upgrade equipment. It almost kind of reminds me of coding in a way, because a lot of these games, they have certain factors that they're using to kind of gauge and set things up. I'm like, all right, no, that's cool and everything, and it translates, and it's very similar between the different games. It just comes out to the interface, the graphics component, the audio, the music, the soundtrack. Because I mean, a game is a game.
Yeah, and like, I'm doing it on the PC right now, so the graphics are a lot better than it is on the mobile, but it's still pretty good on the mobile. I mean, I can zoom in, kind of point out some weird things like how the hair flows and stuff like that. And that's just me, knowing the 3D animation stuff.
Right.
But like, if you didn't know how that stuff was done, or you didn't practice with that kind of stuff, you wouldn't have noticed it probably. And it's like small stuff like that and other big boy. But you can kind of just see, like, this is my next most powerful character, and it's half the strength of this guy.
Well, that's the thing. Well, you look at the stats because it's numbers and stuff.
Yeah. But, ooh. I did get Battle Pass because my stuff came in. So I've got myself all the way up here, and it's pretty fantastic. I can also kind of look at this kind of stuff. This will be interesting.
Well, that's the thing.
Cut out again. I'm not hearing you. There you
Okay,
go.
we are back, and I'm gonna have to give my ISP a very friendly phone call tomorrow, so it's okay. We'll
Fair.
have fun. But yeah, no. Speaking of ARC porn, yes. No. What the video was is I took a clip from what was it, Joker stream, because you remember the ARC with the nipple tassels and
Yep.
stuff like that. He put that as his background, and he started doing like a boomerish dance in front of it. So I clipped that out, and I named it Boomer Uncle Meets the Internet.
Accurate.
It's got a bunch of views,
Yeah.
so it is what it is.
What I see, I can't wait until I get myself my setup because I want to get a part of side quest, and then I'm also over the summer. I want to be working on a side quest video game, and I did get Magog's okay on that last night.
Hmm. Well,
And
that's sweet. What?
I have a lot of things going my way.
Dude, no, that's cool. And I showed you my other shirt for the polymorphed race squirrel character, and then I have my little ears and stuff like that too. And I'm mucking around, kind of getting the green screen set up and everything, so I could have whatever behind me. And I'm like, the only thing now I need is either a good Bluetooth, kind of like Arc has, or just kind of a decent mic here, just because the headset thing is kind of.
And what I'm going to be doing when I move this and make it a nicer studio sort of thing is I'm gonna have the this chair, this stand, and I'm gonna just have it so the green screen, and I'm gonna make my own backgrounds for that with 3D modeling. That's gonna be pretty nice. But with that, I want to do two different things. Number one, I think we cut out again. But number one is that I want to put myself into side quest. Like I want to try to be a bard. Although technically I would have two characters within side quest lore because I am Fromon, Ark's manservant of sorts, his assistant, and then I would be whatever the bard's name is, and I haven't decided a name for it yet, but you know, I need to sneeze.
Bless you. Well, it's like AD&D. It's just as long as it's a different character. I still remember playing D&D to the point where it's like you have characters from one campaign, characters from another campaign. They run into each other. It's like, okay, we obviously can't just work together because we need to play our characters. So and so has a mouth. So and so pisses so off. So then all of a sudden I get to the point where it's like, literally in Lord of the Rings, it's like, all right, so and so draws his sword, puts it to her neck, an axe comes out. There's bows ready to fling and everything, and it's like, all right, we need an adult. Please, is there a wizard around that could help sort this out?
Yeah, but like what I would be is a bard, and you've heard me sing. I'm not the worst. And it would be stuff like that. I could be like a dwarf bard, a shaved dwarf bard. Brothers on the mine rejoice, sing, sing, sing with me. Stuff like that, and I think they would get a kick out of it, but
well, you have the ability. Just even from Arc streams and stuff like that, it's like just the banter that goes on and everything. You see, like certain folks have a good ability to kind of work with each other because certain folks are in certain areas. Some folks will just talk over each other. Some folks will just always argue and hate each other. Other folks are just kind of, they'll get there and just kind of like stare off into nothingness and not say anything at all. You need to find that good party balance, like in any Dungeons and Dragons or World of Warcraft game.
yeah, and it's like with Chatmord and Joker, their chemistry is works well because they're polar opposites of the site. I mean, if it was just the two of them, it wouldn't work. But because they have other people to be that cushion,
right,
it works nicely between everyone.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I could be up here and I can talk for an hour or two at a time about pretty much anything, but I prefer having other people around just because then I can actually bounce things off each other and just kind of go back and forth. You have that dialogue, and if you need a minute to do something, you could have somebody else take over. Like tomorrow I'm doing the Beards of Destruction podcast with my buddy Ord's Board, aka Orbs, because Sonic likes to collect orbs to get Chaos Emeralds and stuff. And he happens to have a pretty gnarly beard. I have a beard, and so we just call it the Beards of Destruction.
In Sonic the Secret Rings and a few other games, he doesn't collect rings. Well, he does collect rings, but the main thing that he collects for score is orbs.
Oh, so there are more Sonic mimetics at play.
Yep.
Cool.
It all comes together.
So we've come full circle for a minute, and on that we've hit the hour-and-a-half mark, and I think we'll wrap it up. So, Fromun, I included, I believe, your channel down in the description down below. So, everybody, feel free to catch out Mr. Fromun over there. Fromun, would you like to wrap up? Okay.
I don't do anything out
That's,
there.
shh. You do things. Maybe not there, but you do things.
It's true.
All right. Hey, thank you all for watching, everybody. Anybody that's got up to this point, we really appreciate it. So, hey, stay safe, take care, and peace out, everybody. And then we hit the thing.